Okay, so hi guys. We are going to start now, and then as people keep joining, we'll just let them in. So today is probably going to be the last session we conduct like this. So it would be great if you can all turn on your cameras. It'll be more interactive. Like I know most of the sessions you guys had your cameras off, but it would be nice if at least for the last session you guys can turn them on. Guys. Hi Kavya.
Hi.
Others? Madhura, Maha, Janvi, Ka. Hi Madhura.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, three people left. Can you guys also turn on your cameras, please? Okay, fine, no problem. Hi, Kavi, and Maha, no problem if your camera is laggy. But if you can still speak and interact, it will be good for the session. Janvi, are you there?
Yeah, actually, I'm outside, so I can't start my video.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So basically this is going to be the last session, like I mentioned before. So I want to ask you guys, what do you guys want to do? We can either you guys can ask your doubts and I can try my best to solve them, or we can go to Khan Academy and then we can just solve questions from different topics over there. So what do you guys want to do?
I think we can just solve questions. Like I don't really have doubts, so unless don't have doubts either, we can just solve questions.
Okay, perfect. Does everyone else agree with that? Okay, great. So I have Khan Academy open, 1 minute. Yeah. So let's see. Now, do you guys want to do math or reading or writing? Any of you
We
guys can respond?
do both, I guess, half. I'm not sure.
Okay, sure. So for half an hour we can do math and then for half an hour we can do English. Is that okay? Okay, which one do you guys want to do first? No response.
We can do English first.
Okay, perfect. So in English also we have reading and writing both. So which one do you guys prefer? Okay,
Reading maybe.
Okay,
I
great.
know
So
that.
see, these are the different topics that are there. For example, finding the central idea, details, inferences. So which particular topic do you guys find harder? So then we can solve that and it'll be easier for you guys.
I just had a do we have
Sorry, I think your voice is stopping.
yeah. I just had a question. Do we have actual writing in the SAT, like an essay or question answer something?
Um, no, see, there used to be an essay option in the SAT, but the writing is actually kind of testing your grammar more. It's
Right, okay.
they'll, for example, they'll give you a sentence, they'll ask you what is wrong with it, and they'll give you they'll ask you to choose the correct answer in the option.
Right.
So then you need to put the correct punctuation, or you need to put the correct conjunction in the middle, stuff like that.
Got
It's
it,
not
yeah.
asking you to write an
Not
essay.
natural essay, yeah,
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. So I think I'll just scroll through all the topics one by one, and then you guys can tell me which one you guys want to do. It starts from I went for the advanced one because I feel if we do the harder ones, you guys might find the easier ones okay anyways. So out of these different topics, which one do you guys find harder, and then we'll focus on that.
I don't really have any specific topic preference, so if somebody else has, they can tell.
Guys, does anyone else have any topics they would prefer to start with? If you guys can't speak, someone said they're out and all, you guys can send in the chat box also. Guys, send fast. You guys are okay, great, okay. Anything is fine. all of you are very nice to each other. None of you are willing to say what you want. Or I think maybe you guys are actually okay with everything. Then I guess we'll just go with the first one if nobody has any preference, I guess. Is that okay? Guys? Command of textual evidence advanced. Okay, great. I'm getting answers in the chat box at least. Let's go. I'll make this smaller so you guys can see the answers. Okay, is this size okay? I think this way you guys can see the questions and the answers. It'll be easier for you guys also. Right? Okay, perfect. So I'll give you guys like 2-3 minutes to solve this, and then just like send in your answers in the chat box, and then we'll discuss. Okay, so I'm getting a few answers. For the people who just joined, send in your answers via the chat box. We're doing English, command of textual evidence, like the advanced questions, and then after this we'll move on to math. Hey guys, so can I discuss the answer? I think most of you have sent in your answer, but I think 1 or 2 people are still left. But I think it's been like 4-5 minutes, and I think that's like more than enough for this question. So can I discuss the answer? Okay, great. So you guys are sending in yeses in the chat box. I'll discuss the answer now. You guys actually sent in like quite a lot of D answers, but I think the answer is D. Okay, perfect. So see, the question is asking which finding, if true, would most directly support the team's conclusion. What was the team's conclusion? The team concluded that BOVB is indeed transferred from snakes to frogs, either directly or indirectly via HT. Now wait, what is HT? Okay, HT is horizontal transfer, and it is basically how often bacteria passes genetic material to an unrelated species, from one species to another. Okay, so these people are saying that from snakes to frogs, this disease is going, or this gene is going through HT. So now see, the correct answer is D, I feel, because parasites known to feed on species of snakes and frogs, in which this gene also occurs, also carry glue. So then they said directly or indirectly. So this is basically, for example, it'll go from the snakes to the particular parasite, and then from there to the frog. And then that is basically that indirect HT they were talking about. And then this one, yeah, it's basically saying from one frog species to another. The conclusion that we're supposed to support is from snakes to frogs. And then it's not within the same species. So then I think other than like one or two people, everyone sent in B. So then I was a bit confused in the start with this option too. But then in the start itself, they written that HT happens unrelated species. So then within those frog species itself, they're all related, right? And then like that's why you can't say that it's HT. That will become like VT, like the vertical inheritance instead of horizontal transfer. And then nobody else sent A and C, so I think none of you were confused with that. But I hopefully you guys understood why D is the correct answer. Just send in like yes in the chat box if you got it, or like say it out loud. Okay, perfect. So we'll move on to the next question then. Okay. I think all of you can see the question and the options. Okay, I'm starting to get some answers with the people who just joined. We're doing command of textual evidence questions in English. So basically, just like read through the passage and send in the answer when you figure it out, and then we'll discuss. I'll give you guys like 2, 3 more minutes, and by then I think everyone should be done. I've only gotten like 3 answers right now, but like it would be great if the rest of you can also send in the answers. Okay, I think only one person left to submit their answers. It would be great if you could be a little fast. I'll just give one more minute and then I think, you know, we'll discuss. Okay, 30 more seconds and then I'll discuss. Okay, guys, I'll discuss the answer. I think the answer is B. Okay, great. So see over here, they're asking which finding of I'm not sure how to pronounce any of these, but which finding about these two forms of music, if true, would directly support Zeng's claim. So what is the claim? The concept of world music homogenizes highly distinct traditions by reducing them to a single category. So we need to find a sentence that supports this. The fact that these two music forms of music developed independently of each other and have little in common musically, that directly supports the fact that they're highly distinct traditions. And then, if you try to put them all into one category of world music, that homogenizes them. Someone sent A, C, and all, but like see, for example, if it's more popular than the other, that doesn't really show that it's a highly distinct tradition. Like it can be popular, but then that doesn't mean putting them all into one category would be wrong. And then even if they're performed with like a in different places with no direct connections to these two, it doesn't really explain or doesn't really support the fact that these two are completely different styles of music and they shouldn't be kind of lumped together. So then B is the only option that really supports the claim, so that's why it's the correct answer. I hope you all understood. Can I move on to the next question? Okay. I'll make it a little smaller so you guys can see the questions and the answers. Guys, I haven't gotten any answers yet. You guys can see the question, no? Okay, I'm starting to get a few answers. Guys, send in your answers. I'll give you guys like 2 more minutes and then we'll discuss. Guys, can I discuss the answer or like do you guys need more time? Okay, 1 more minute, but then we'll discuss because we shouldn't take too much time for one. Okay, so I'll discuss the answer. Um, okay, I think the answer is A. Okay, perfect. So see, over here they're asking, it's different from the rest of the question we saw till now, because until now they asked us to support the claim, yeah. Whereas over here they're asking which quotation directly challenges, means which one like basically which of the options contradicts what they've underlined over here. What are they saying in these lines? They're saying that in that particular painting, this painter, he fuses these influences into a style that it resists efforts to view like blah blah blah. So basically what they're saying is that he used all of these different styles of art like Mexican and Ottoman and US based Mexican indigenous art and all that. He used all of those different like styles of art, and then he made his art piece, the history of Mexico. And then his style was so different that if you try to, view it in the form of through the lens of nationality or cultural identity, you're not able to do that. So you need to find the option which kind of contradicts that. So when you look at all the options, A is really the only answer you can see, because see, it relies primarily on angular human forms in profile, a staple of Maya culture, and thus invites classification as indigenous art. See, the other options here, for example, they say specifically a Maya influence, right? But then, yeah, like they do, when we look at here, it does say that it does have those influences, but then you can't classify it into any specific thing. So then this one actually ends up kind of agreeing with that statement. The same with the other two also. For example, this one also doesn't challenge it, but actually just ends up supporting it, that a single work can't be defined by like any specific form of art, and then it's just like it's a mixture of all the different forms of art. And then this one is also something similar. Again, it doesn't like contradict, it just ends up supporting the claim that the critics focus too much on the indigenous influences, whereas all of them like all of those different influences are there, like you know not just the indigenous ones. This is option A is the only one that directly contradicts it, and is the only one that states that you know it is like indigenous art, even though it does have other influences and it can be classified as such. Since it's the only option that directly contradicts the statement, meaning it directly challenges the underlying claim, that's why it's the correct answer. Hopefully you guys understood that. Okay, now this one last question of this, and then I think we'll move on to math. Okay, I've gotten one answer. Others? I've gotten a few more answers. You guys are getting faster. I feel just like the rest of you send in your answers and then we'll discuss. Okay. I think now I'll discuss the answer. Is that okay? Okay, great. Let's see. Um, option. I think the answer is option A. Okay, great, perfect. See, over here again, it's like the third question. Okay, they're asking us to find the option which would directly weaken the potential explanation. Again, like it should contradict it, right? So see, over here, in this whole thing, basically what they're saying is that since there's more CO2, the plants are photosynthesizing more, and then that's why the other like protein, iron, zinc, and all is not being made, but then more carbohydrates are there. Okay, so then basically we need to find something that can contradict this. So out of all of the options here, option A is really the only one that contradicts. All the others kind of end up supporting it. See over here, they're saying that rice plants consume CO at nearly identical levels, regardless of the variation in atmospheric CO2. So this option is basically saying even if the CO2 in the atmosphere is more, rice plants are still using the same amount of CO2 in photosynthesis, which means that this explanation can't be true if this is also true. So that is something that would directly weaken the potential explanation. I think I got 1D. Okay, I see. Over here, they're saying carbohydrate production increased, then plateaued as atmospheric CO2 levels increased. See, over here, if they had asked us which one would directly support the potential explanation, then this would be for sure like the correct answer, right? But then this one is, since it's supporting and since they asked us to directly weaken the potential explanation, that's why it's the wrong answer, because it doesn't end up contradicting, it just ends up supporting the answer. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're done with these. Okay. So I think we're done with this particular thing. We did the 4 questions, and I think now since it's almost half an hour is over, we were gonna do math. So is that okay with everyone, guys?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. So in maths, do you guys have any particular? Wait, I will. Hmm, yeah. So in maths, do you guys have any particular like part you guys want to focus on or something? Guys, is there any particular topic you guys want to focus on? You guys find it harder, so you guys want to do that, guys?
Is there something with like graphs maybe?
Uh, I think. mm
Like I don't think there's a specified topic there, so maybe like in the given topics, there's nothing like only for graphs. I think any topic is okay.
Maybe data analysis will have that. We can try that out. Um,
Yeah, okay, that's also fair.
it has center spread and state of distribution, data representation, scatter plots, linear and I think this is what you want, yeah, linear and exponential growth.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Let's just see, wait. But I'm pretty sure these are graphs. Oh no, okay, wait. I don't think this is what you wanted. Let's go back there. maybe this. Okay, yeah, this is not exactly graphs, but it is similar. I saw graphs here, so I thought, but I think like this is similar enough. So are you okay with doing these?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, perfect. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to like work out the answer, and then we'll do. This is like a pretty easy question. So like just send me your answers fast so we can do more questions. I'll give you guys like 1 more minute. This shouldn't take you guys that much time. Like in maths also, yeah, if you when you guys are practicing, try to like time yourselves so you know how much time you're taking for each question. And then like in the actual SAT exam, you'll only have like a limited number of time for the amount of questions you do, right? So and then like divide the amount of time you have by the number of questions so that you know how much time you should spend on each question. But then even then try to spend as less time as you can. For example, if you find like a harder question, you might end up taking more than, for example, if you calculated 2 minutes per question is how much time you have. But for a harder question, you might take, for example, 3 minutes. So what you should try to do is that on easier questions like this one, you should, try to spend like 1 minute or something so that you end up having like a buffer time of 1 minute. So even if you take like more time later on for the harder questions, you'll still be fine. But I think I've given like more than enough time. Can I check the answer for this? Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So see, basically, yeah, it's correct answer. See, over here they're asking the dot plot shows the number of hours Philia worked on her last 10 work days. So basically, each dot represents like one day, and then they're asking for how many of those days did Philia work for 6 hours. So the x-axis has the number of hours that she worked. For example, she worked 4 hours on none of the days. She worked for two. She worked for 5 hours on two of the days, and they're asking on how many days did she work for 6 hours. So this is the one that shows the days she worked for 6 hours. And since there's four dots, it means for 4 days she worked for 6 hours. So that's the correct answer. Yeah, you got the graph you wanted, yeah. Okay, I'll give you guys like a few minutes again, and then we can discuss the answer. Guys, I'll give you 1 more minute and I'll discuss the answer because this is a pretty easy question. Okay, guys, can I discuss the answer? Okay, so I think the answer is B. Okay, perfect. So even this one is a pretty easy question. They've given us a graph. The x-axis shows the data usage in gigabytes, and the y-axis shows the price in dollars. So they're asking us to find the price for 5 GB of data usage. So see over here we have 5 GB. And then for these kinds of questions, we are just it's easy to kind of get confused if you don't like um okay. Okay, so the pen is not working properly. Let me try here. Hopefully it'll work now. Okay, I see. So this is not exactly coming straight, but okay, I think this will work out. See over here, they asked us for 5 GB, which is here. What is the data usage? So then what is the price? So then over here to 520 is what corresponds. So then $20 is the correct answer. And that is option B. Perfect. So we'll move on to the next question and I will erase that. Okay. You guys see the option in the answer. Okay. Since we have a few minutes, I'll give you guys a few minutes to answer and then we'll discuss. I think some of you have started sending in your answers. Guys, like do send in your answers as soon as you're done. Guys, this is like a pretty easy like question. Like I don't think you guys should take that much time also. Okay, can I discuss the answer, guys? Okay, I think the answer is yeah, perfect. It's the correct answer. See, I will draw and show you guys. See, over here they're asking, they said that this one has 25 hotel rooms. It shows the distribution. They're asking how many hotel rooms have 12 to 15 guests, right? So over here in the graph, the number of guests is on the x-axis, the number of hostel rooms is on the y-axis. So they've told us that they want how many hotel rooms are 12 to 15. So 12 to 15 is here. And if we draw a line and check, it corresponds to 6 hostel rooms. So 6 hostel rooms have 12 to 15 guests. So that's why over here 6 is the correct answer. I think that was pretty easy. I'll remove this. Perfect. So I think last question over here. This is a student produced response questionnaire. So I think you guys all know how to like enter in those answers. If not, you guys can just read this for basically there's a few things you need to keep in mind. You should not put in like improper fractions because and you should not put in like um 3 1/2 and all because it'll read that as 31/2 or something. So basically you can enter decimals and all, but don't try to enter this. because it won't accept the answer. Okay. Over here, all of your rules have been given. So just read through those and then I'll scroll up to show you the question. Also, truncating basically means that if there's too many decimal points, then you can just, remove the last one. For example, if it's like 0.666666666, then you can just remove the last three sixes. And by rounding it off means that you change it to 0.6667, like that. Also, you need to try to get in as many decimals as possible. For example, 2 by 3, if you write 0.66, you won't get the correct answer. You have to write like 0.6666, even though they're pretty much the same. Okay, are you guys done reading this? Can I show the question? Just let me know in the chat box. Okay, perfect. This is your question. Perfect. Yeah. Send in the answer like how you would put it in the exam itself. Okay, I'm getting a few answers. Guys, this is a pretty easy question. Just send them in. I'll give you guys like 2 more minutes and then we'll discuss. Okay. Thirty more seconds, guys. Guys, can I discuss the answer now? Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, I think you can discuss now.
Okay, good. Okay, I think the answer is 10. Perfect. So see, over here, this one was also again an easy question. They were asked that after how many weeks was that dude's beard 35 millimeters long? So over here, so the y-axis is in millimeters only, but sometimes be careful because what they'll do is that the unit over here, yeah, they'll change it to like meters or something. So you'll have to convert to get the correct answer. They'll do that to confuse you. Over here, the question is easy only. You don't need to do that. But like just in case, I don't want you guys to like get blindsided if you get a harder question. Okay, see over here, 35 millimeters comes somewhere here. So if you bring that down, that corresponds to 10 weeks. So, you guys will have the annotate option like in your exam probably. So make use of that and don't make mistakes you don't need to. So, okay. So hopefully you guys understood why 10 was the correct answer. I'll clear it all now. Yeah, and I think all of you gave the correct answer. So I'm happy about that. Mm. Okay, so I've stopped sharing. We have approximately 5 minutes left. And since this is the last session, like anything you guys want to ask me, this is like your last chance, kind of like obviously we'll try to do this later on. But I think before your SAT exams, this is probably like the last session we're having. So like, do you guys want to like ask me something or anything at all? Then this is your chance. Like I'll give you guys like last 5 minutes for that. Nothing, none of you.
think I have really any doubts because I asked in the first session already. So like, yeah, I was able to attend the first session and then like I was traveling, so I could not see, but I like watched recordings of all of them. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm happy to know that you like, attend the sessions, you watch the recordings also, because like I know like sometimes what happens is that, after you miss a session, like you never get around to like actually watching the recordings. So like I'm happy to know that you actually like watched and like you found them helpful.
Yeah, like I think from the first session I got to know about Khan Academy. Like I didn't know about the thing together. Like I knew of the practice from Khan Academy, but I didn't know about the Khan and Sat being together, that website you shared. So from there I've been practicing and it's been really helpful. So yeah.
That's great. I'm so happy I was able to help you guys out.
Thank you
So
so much. Bye.
no
Bye.
problem. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to end the meeting after this, but like good luck.